Good morning. I've got a new piece of real estate news that I wanted to go through with you today to get your thoughts. This is something that's been brewing for a couple of years now. Recently, a federal judge just granted class action status to a group of plaintiffs who are suing some real estate companies, claiming that they, as sellers, are being unfairly treated, quoting the Sherman Act of 1890, which I'm sure they had to dig a bit for. Basically saying that it's unfair for them as sellers in the real estate industry to have to pay for the real estate agent for the buyers. Let's break this down a little bit, and I'll let you guys make the decision. So first off, let's think about what happens for a buyer in this industry. When you go to buy a house, there's a lot of costs that you're going to have to save up for. You're going to have money for your down payment, which is at minimum 3%. If you're a first-time home buyer going with a conventional loan, above that it's 3.5% for an FHA buyer, some of the most underserved buyers that the government is basically insuring these products so that they can get into a house. And then above that it goes to higher levels that are required, a minimum of 5% down for a standard conventional buyer that is not a first-time home buyer meeting income limits. So all that in mind, 3 to 5% at minimum of a purchase price of a home. Here in Denver, it's around $600,000 for an average purchase price. So you're talking, call it $20,000 to $30,000 ish. So that's just for the down payment. Then you have your closing costs, which can be another 6 to 12 depending on the purchase price of the house. Plus you're paying for your appraisal up to $1,000. Your inspection that can go anywhere from $400 to thousands depending on what you get. If you want a survey, there's another big chunk of thousands of dollars. So there's already a lot going into the transaction from the buyer that they have to bring up front to be able to even afford it. Now let's talk about affordability. A year and a half ago or so, we were looking at interest rates around 2.75%. Right now we're closer to 6.75%. So we've already knocked a ton of buyers out of the market, and it's already difficult for a lot of people to even consider buying a house right now. So the industry is slowed, except for the people who are big institutional investors or have a lot of wealth and can just buy properties in cash. That's who we're seeing a lot of right now. Also maybe some fix and flippers who are in it commercially. Now let's look at the average American. I pulled up a statistic. This is the average household savings for a household in the US are $17,135. Now, that doesn't seem terrible, but keep in mind that that's the mean, which means that it's being pulled up by the people who are really wealthy, who have lots of money in savings. If we look at the median, which is the middle of all of the range, that gives us a lot better number, and that is only $3,500 for the average family, for the average household. So when you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars that they're already having to come up with out of pocket to be able to get into a house currently, now you add to it the thought that if this lawsuit goes through and they make it so that the seller's no longer on the hook to pay for the buyer's agent, what is that going to do? I think it's going to make it so a lot less agents are out there who are motivated to show your property. It's going to sell more slowly. You might not be able to buy your next house. You may not be able to move for your job. It's going to cause a lot of problems potentially, but it's also going to increase costs dramatically for the buyers. So I saw a statistic that for NAR, the National Association of Realtors, estimated that for every 1% of commission that they have to pay on top of all the other costs that are currently paying, you're looking at about an extra $2,300 for the average person buying a house. Average commission's around 2.8 in this market, although it's not fixed. So you're talking about $6,000 additional, in addition to all the other costs that they already have to save up for to be able to get into a house. That's just going to squash people more, and especially when you're talking about people who have the lowest ability to save, people who are underrepresented. The FHA people, the buyers of the world, are going to get slammed the most. It's going to make it harder for them to buy. I think it's just some whiny people who didn't pay attention or had bad realtors that didn't set expectations well, and then were surprised at the end of the process that, oh wait, I have to pay for the buyer's agent as well. It's pretty common. It's almost universal across the country, and it's for the purpose that it helps the real estate market move forward. If we didn't have the seller who is at the point of sale getting flush with cash from the property, paying for some of those costs, then there'd be a lot less buyers out there. There'd be a lot less transactions happening. But I want to hear what you guys think. So shoot me a text, or actually just reply on this. Drop me a comment, or let me know just what your thoughts are on here, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.